Hello everyone, this is my third video about an upcoming release or update of a Final Fantasy IV character. Since Pecil, unlike many others I have covered before, is extremely hyped up, I want to try a slightly different format than usual. If you followed JP news a year ago, or if you sought to know what character to pull for this month, you've probably stumbled upon one common answer: Pecil. He truly is great, but I think for anyone to truly make a should I pull decision, it is wiser to first know how the character works, what their strengths and weaknesses are, which kind of teams they fit in and which they don't. In the case of today's subject, I'll try to do a thorough analysis of exactly how broken Paladin Pecil is and what their limits are. As we delve deeper into Lufenia, standard attack and max bravery auras become less and less relevant. For one, attack scaling is really bad, meaning that your characters need a significant attack aura to get a small boost in damage. Max bravery on the other hand already is really high. Couple that with the huge overflow most attacks tend to have nowadays and you'll have a character who either doesn't do enough bravery damage to ever cap, or whose max bravery is necessarily high because they do the same amount of damage without. So does that mean aura characters are as good as dead now? Well, Paladin Pecil is good. Very, very good. So good in fact, devs tried to shut him down as soon as Synergy ended and kept trying to shut him down every few events. Why is that? This is the subject of this video. Paladin Pecil gets a few destructive tools in addition to his mediocre auras. As he doesn't get a rework, I won't do an analysis of his full kit, only his LD and BT weapons. His LD, Luminous Shard, is a 3-hit AoE ranged Holy Brave attack plus AoE HP attack, followed by a 5-hit AoE ranged Holy Brave attack plus HP attack with split HP damage. It recovers up to 60% of party's HP based on HP damage dealt and converts excess heals to bravery. It also inflicts Holy Imperil for 4 turns and grants Overhead Entrusted Crystal to self for 6 turns. Entrusted Crystal gives the party 120% defense up and 10% HP regen. It also allows the party's HP to overflow up to 130% of its max value, kind of like what Borum does. As an additional bonus, if his own HP is maxed or above, it gives a whopping 50% bravery damage up and a 50% HP damage up to the party on top of reducing incoming HP damage by 20%. After using the LD, the next ability you use is free. Now for the BT ability. It is a 15-hit AoE Holy Ranged Bravery attack plus 100% AoE by 20%, increased HP regen by 10% of max HP, battery for 100% of current HP at the start of each turn, and if Pecil's HP is at least maxed out, increases bravery damage limit by 20% and lifts the bravery damage cap by 10%. Both abilities give the whole party a tremendous offensive boost, which is actually unprecedented. With all bravery damage auras combined with the bonus damage from Holy Enchant and Imperil, we arrive at a total of 150% bravery damage up. Remember Balthier with his 20% damage up? Yeah, Pecil is pretty much the reason why a lot of people doubted his impact when his LD ability got revealed. This comes with a downside, however, which is Holy Absorption. Well, actually, even Holy Absorption is not enough to invalidate Paladin Pecil entirely. Since his utility mostly comes from the LD ability and his Holy Enchant coming from his AA is optional, he's still useful as an aura bot despite his own attacks getting absorbed. The value he brings to the party is just that great. Also, since the LD overhead is 12 turns long and Pecil's got 4 or 5 uses of it, depending on the burst status, you will never exhaust his bonuses. Every free skill provided by the LD should be directed towards his AA, as it is a hidden bravery damage up aura to the party. Without the AA active, you will see the DPT drop significantly. His BT aura, although not the most impressive part of Pecil's kit, is quite big as well. A simple way to describe it would be to say it doubles what the LD already does, bringing the bravery damage up aura to an astonishing 200%, the highest to this day, even on JP. Unfortunately, since Pecil's abilities are not the most damaging, far from it actually, the BT phase itself is not the most devastating. If you're looking for pure damage burst, Cloud or Lightning will likely outperform Pecil in that regard. However, once again, the BT effect itself is not to be underestimated. As a BT character himself, just owning the weapon will help tremendously with team building for Dimensions and Transcendence stages this month onward. With all these enormous offensive auras, one may be inclined to think that Paladin's strengths end here, but it's not the case, as he excels in making your party bulkier, just as much as he helps them hit very hard. With a whopping 200% defense boost to the whole team, 20% HP regen, 30% overhealing, 20% HP damage reduction, your team will be much harder to kill. Still, he doesn't make your party unkillable, so you should never assume a wipe cannot happen. You should be on the lookout for double HP dumps in particular, as the first one may get rid of the minus 20% HP damage veil provided when at full health. On the same note, Pecil's base skills respectively battery the party a lot and heal it. They are very safe to use, as depending on the situation you're in, with enough experience it will often be possible to mitigate a game-ending break. Since on-demand heals are required when playing Paladin Pecil, mostly for the conditional auras at 100%, you can call him self-sufficient since his skill 2 does just that. Since Pecil does a lot of stuff, his weaknesses are not plenty unlike his strengths. However, you should keep in mind that despite his impact on the meta, he cannot do everything. No, Pecil cannot be used everywhere, until proven wrong. In very tight stages which absorb wholly, you will need to find a workaround. He isn't an instant win button either, especially as time goes on. Party composition is key, so don't just go headfirst into a stage without analyzing its hazards first. You don't need Pecil to clear content either. His damage being so-so means he may be wasting turns, so pairing him up with damage dealers will fix the cracks. To touch on Balthier briefly, the leading man may or may not outclass Pecil sometimes, depending on the stage. Holy Enchant, as previously mentioned, shuts him down somewhat as well, although content is still manageable without the Holy Enchant AA switch flipped on. As a Holy Enchanter, Pecil gives the most benefits to non-elemental or Holy DPT units. Due to the numerous niches he covers, he is useful in plenty of team comps and provides an edge to a big chunk of the roster. Here are some picks for synergy material of Pecil. Theodore. As previously mentioned, the father and the son both complement each other. Where Paladin Pecil lacks shaving and overall damage, Theodore excels in just that. On the other hand, Theodore's heavy dependence on heal is satisfied by Paladin through his overhealing and massive heals. Since they both are tied to the Holy element and can both inflict Holy Imperil, the synergy between them is made even stronger. Squall and Cloud. With their impending LD extensions both characters get at the same time, and similar roles outside of launch comp, Squall and Cloud benefit a lot from the LD aura and AA. Squall has got a slight edge on Cloud for the synergy, but both function well in the presence of the best Final Fantasy that game. Terra. Her bravery damage being quite low hinders her ability to shave properly. Pecil can also enable her in magic resistant stages as well, as stages with high bravery damage reduction. And here are some others. Tifa, Balthier, Ramses, Sabin, Trey, Deuce, Porum, Ultimecia, Caius, Gavrilov, and many others as well. Pecil is a powerhouse, but whether or not you'll be using him depends on your preferences. If you've enjoyed using Balthier, you sure will enjoy using Pecil. Party composition is the name of the game, and one strong unit doesn't perform well alone, so your roster will need to be up to date in order to support the support. Covering a wide array of roles make Paladin Pecil a hard to sleep on unit, but skipping him wouldn't hinder your ability to clear content if you don't plan on using him much in the first place. Overall, I love what Team Ninja and Square Enix both gave him. Next video, this format should cover Edward as well as Paladin's LD on the former's lost chapters. Until then, farewell.